Hello. Hi, Money Medicine. Hello, abundant woman. Abundant man, abundant soul. Hi. Welcome to Money Medicine Space. Yeah. I know our Money Medicine Space is usually on Wednesday. Yeah. But today I just had to do a special riff for you because it's been a while. Also, I really couldn't be here yesterday, my loves. I couldn't be here. I was doing expansive healing shopping. I love shopping. It is somehow medicinal to my money. But this doesn't apply to everyone. It's medicinal to my money because one of the things I had to deeply heal with my money was the anxiety I had around spending and parting with money. So, unlike other people, I know some women experience what I experience, while some women are happy to go shopping. I used to feel really stressed and frustrated because it felt like, oh, I'm parting with money. I can't believe I'm gonna have to pay for this much. I had real issues around shopping. So part of my money medicine has been to actually be intentional when I shop and be conscious of what goes through my mind when I shop and be happy to pay, to let go, trusting and believing that I will receive and that more and more and more is always coming. Like, I live in a reality right now where I would say that I trust that more money will come, and I help my clients with this. I say this, more money will come, but it took a lot of work for me to believe that even when I part with money, more money will come, and that I get to give and I will always receive 10 times more. So yeah, that's why for me, if my friend says we are gonna have to go shopping, I always feel like, yes, let's do something expensive. Let's get in the energy of transacting and paying, trusting and believing that more is coming. We are gonna be paid because we deserve it. It is who we are. It is who we get to be. We get to be comfortable paying other people so that we receive, right? This is so relevant to what I'm going to talk to you about today. Yes, so today we're talking how to change money timelines in business through healing. How to change money timelines in business through healing, right? Here's the thing. Money is money. Money is money. One person will literally dance in front of a camera and make money from it. Another will literally come and say stories and then make people laugh, and they'll get paid for it. Another person may choose to plait people's hair and they'll get paid for it. One person may decide to get online and do the makeup while people watch, and then they'll get paid for it. You also, as a spiritual woman, when you get to heal people, the same applies to you. Money is money. Money comes anytime. Money comes through ways that you yourself decide that I will come. What matters is you insisting that this is the way I get to be paid. If money was judgmental of how we do things, of what we get to do, and also how sincere we are, yada yada yada, in what we're doing, trust me, a lot of people would not have money. But money knows nothing about good or bad. Yeah. No, money is money. It's just a resource. It's paper. It's also an energetic thing. It's a life. So what really matters when it comes to money, I'll tell you, it's your own energy, your own frequency, your own ability to insist that this is how I get to be paid. This is the reality I get to have when it comes to money. That's what matters. Not so much about what you do or not. So I really want to remind you this as a spiritual woman, because a lot of us sometimes we get caught up in the fact that, oh, I'm a spiritual woman, therefore God should favor me. My high consciousness ancestors should do the work for me. My guides get to bring me more money. There's nothing like that. Like, of course, we are always available for the blessings, the miracles, and the divine support. Of course we are. However, truly speaking, your free will always matters as well. When it comes to money, your free will is so powerful. Your divine power is powerful. You have to opt into being paid on your terms. Opt into making unfamiliar money. Opt into receiving money, and also knowing that you are available to pay for money, knowing that more is coming. You have to opt into this. Your free will matters. If you have not signed up for making money on your terms, for receiving money in the most abundant ways, there's a possibility that you will spend years and years and years in a financial loop where basically you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you expect things to be different with money, but it's like it's still the same story of your lineage, the same story of your mom and dad, because you are in a financial loop. So how do you get in a financial loop? Your free will matters. Opt in, insist. This is my reality. This is how I get to make money. Hi, I look gorgeous. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel good. I feel good. For someone who is exhausted, I feel really good. I think I just love talking about money. Of course, I'm a money lover. So, yeah. In changing our money timelines when it comes to business using healing, free will is a very, very powerful thing. Opt in, insist that this is my reality, right? Because here is the thing. A lot of us, especially spiritual women, I think it happens a lot with entrepreneurs as well, leaders, creatives, where whenever now we get into the business field or we start having our own businesses, for some reason we think it will be automatic with our money. If you had worked corporate before and you've been paid before, you feel like, oh, now that I will have a business, it means I'm going to have more money. Of course, it means that your portal is open to receiving more money. Of course, if you do the work, you will. But what is also important here is to understand that since you will be creating your money now, is different from convincing your mind that I deserve money because I worked for hard for it. It's easy. When you work for someone else 8 to 5, it's easy to understand why you should get paid. It makes sense for you. I get to be paid because I worked in the hours. I also put in, and I wrote reports. I worked late, all the things. So it makes logical sense. Here's the thing. When we transition into our businesses, into making money, it doesn't matter what you are doing. There is where you need to convince your psychology, your nervous system, your programming, why you are deserving of this money. And this is linked to our own wounds, our own inner wounds. There is where your nervous system has to buy into the story of you creating this money, especially on the terms that you're creating it. The freedom, the ease that comes with it. Ease not being easy, but ease in the sense that there is alignment. There is no pressure to be something you're not. You get what I mean? So it's like all those things come into play. And because of how it feels, sometimes it can be like, it can bring discomfort to our nervous system, hence feeling a little unsafe, hence feeling a little unfamiliar. This is why when we heal, we open up to what is unfamiliar. What is unfamiliar to our minds, to our psychology, to our bodies even, to our families and all the stuff, right? Yeah. Money is activating. Money is activating. Yeah. Here's something that I want to talk about when it comes to timelines. A lot of us don't understand how much weight timelines play in our money. Money has its timelines. We can talk about artificial timelines or lower frequency timelines. These are timelines where although we're making money, or although you're making money, you find that you are not actually experiencing money. And this is because more money does not mean that you have changed the patterns that exist within your family. Or the patterns that exist, yes, that exist within your family and hence that exist within your money, right? Why someone will literally make a lot of money but still be in so much debt, still sometimes find that they get into really horrible deals that they could have not gotten in had they had someone process with them. Why we are able to have money and later on or a few months down the line someone's wealth collapses to a point where it's like you never had money. I'm sure each and everyone else knows a story or someone close to us who used to have a lot of money and now it's like your life just turned upside down. It doesn't make sense. How did they not have money? This is because money exists in timelines. When we speak of artificial money timelines or lower frequency timelines of money, that's where a lot of us Africans are because of the slavery and the violence that we went through. We know money. We are able to sometimes create money, a lot of it, right? But if we're being honest, those of us who have managed to create high incomes and those of us who are still in lower income, sometimes it feels like there is no difference, especially when we're in our lower timelines. This is because more money does not mean that the experience of money has changed. More money does not all of a sudden change the patterns that have been existing in your family. I'll say this to you, even if you're a business person and your family members, most of them are not, if there is a template or a pattern of debt running in the family, you might find that even in your business, you will unconsciously create that debt. If members of your family are people who have so many conflicts around money, or sometimes they have experienced betrayal with their money, just because you are in business does not mean you have escaped that timeline. It does not automatically mean that, oh, it will be different for you just because you are in business. That's what we mean when we say lower timeline. So a lot of us are stuck there because our businesses are still reflecting the patterns that exist, that's still reflecting the wounds that exist within our families, within our ancestral lineages. So I want you to also understand this. Business does not automatically mean that you have now shifted into a new timeline of money. You can make so much money in business. But what always hits hard is when now you start seeing that it hasn't changed that I come from a family of debt. It hasn't changed that when it comes to money, I lose friends, I lose people that are close to me. It hasn't changed that I don't have, intimate relationships just because of I have money. This is always heartbreaking for entrepreneurs who especially are able to create money in a lump sum at a go. Like, for example, if you win a tender or tenderpreneurs, why a lot of them experience this high vibe life where they have all the money and then within a few months they've lost the money. It's because this money came into the hands that are from a lineage that still has its own wounds around money and still has its own unhealthy patterns around money. It didn't change just because the money was millions or it's a lot. The nervous system of that entrepreneur still gets in shock and will recreate the unhealthy patterns or unconsciously create what has been existing in the lineage. This is how us, especially as Africans, play out the contracts that we have within our lineages, the contracts of togetherness, of being the same, or being uniform, or wanting the belonging that we seek so much in our lineages or in our families. Even through our money, there is how we want to show up as people who are belonging to those families. So your money will match that energy, will match the patterns, because it's your way of also showing your belonging to that, to your family and to your ancestral lineage, right? So yeah, it gets to be really, really challenging when you are still in a lower money timeline or lower frequency timeline of money. And it's simple. How do you know you are in a lower frequency of money? If you're still experiencing money the same way, regardless of whether it has increased or not. if you are still experiencing the same pains that your mom experienced, that your dad experienced, your siblings are experiencing, it's because you're still in a lower timeline of money. And we do healing work to go inwards and recognize this pain and recognize this programming, these wounds, so that we can shift into what we call an organic timeline. What is amazing about being a spiritual woman is that when you do the healing and you begin to make money with your natural gifts, right? It gets to be where now whatever has been placed inside you is enough to make money. That's an organic timeline of making money. So organic timelines of making money are timelines that are mostly reflecting your enoughness, your ability, your natural ability to create money, because God already made you that way, right? This does not mean that if you're not having a business that you may not be in an organic timeline of creating wealth. No. Some people may be in corporate. If they're doing something that is aligned, something that is a gift to them. For example, there's someone out there who, from the day they were born, the gift that was inside them was that you will speak on behalf of people. You will seek justice for people. For example, this would be someone who then gets to be a lawyer, right? Let's say that's the case. This is the type of person who, if we put them next to 10 other lawyers, they are able to create wealth expansively. Why? Because of their natural gifts, they are able to access organic timelines of creating money. This means money can come in always in all forms. Wealth can be created in always of all forms. We do not get to limit how we can receive money or how we can create wealth. There is no one route towards it. But I will tell you, alignment is a really good catalyst in creating money. Alignment in the sense that this is something you're really passionate about. This is something you're really good at, you've been gifted with. As soon as you go inwards and say, what is the thing that I know I'm meant to serve with? You know, the ideas that I'm meant to honor. As soon as you are able to align with those, you then can shift into an organic timeline of making money. This would be possibly higher timelines of money. Of course, it's always beautiful to accompany this timeline with doing inner work and doing inner healing, because again, escaping your family patterns or the wounds around money in your lineage is not an automatic thing. It's something that you get to work on, be aware of, and it's a progressive thing, right? However, of course, it's very advantageous if you are aligned and you are using your natural gifts, your natural talents, your natural skills, things that you are already good at, because that's where alignment comes in. You are able to exist in what you call an organic timeline of money, an organic timeline of wealth, where now it's no longer about the logic that I have to do 1, 2, 3, then I'll be paid, then I'll get the money. That's not how it works when it comes to money. Money is about your own energy. Money is about your own ability to receive it. It's also about your own belief system. What do you truly believe about it? Do you believe that money gets to be in overflow? Yes, that's true. You get to have that. Do you believe that money is never enough for you? Do you believe that you are not worthy of money? Yes, you get to live in that reality, right? So lower timelines a lot of times reflect the unhealthy belief systems that have been running in our lineages for the longest time, that actually have sustained our lineages, because there is where our ancestors had to cope with not having money, and how they had to cope with it had to be in them understanding how to exist with that within that timeline of lack, right? So when we experience debt, when we experience losing money, not feeling the significance of the income we make, it is our way of also coping with that timeline. This is why you can be there 20 years. This is why there's financial stagnancy, where you can experience something for the next 20 years, 30 years. And then it's like some people never get to take the action. Why? Because there is where you learned to cope with the lower timeline, when you exist in a higher timeline of money, where you are challenging the unhealthy beliefs, where you are challenging you have been coping with, or how your family has been coping, that's a timeline where you open yourself up to new possibilities of experiencing money differently. Right? So there's lower timelines of money, there's organic times of money, where it's your own gifts that are now creating wealth on your behalf because of the alignment that exists, right? Because of your enoughness, everything that God placed inside you is enough to create money. When you do the work, especially in an organic timeline, you get to access higher timelines of making money. People who get to make millions of money, billions of money, did not just get there by coincidence. I can tell you this. There's a lot that had to happen on their behalf, right? There's a lot that had to happen within them. There's where they shifted. The homeless man who became a millionaire one day was existing in a lower timeline when he was homeless. But when he began to shift the way he thinks, when he began to put in the work in terms of how am I talented, how can I start making money, I love making people laugh, this is so aligned with me, then automatically it just began to happen that, okay, one day I get to make the money. And it wasn't a one-day thing. For a lot of us, higher timelines will not be a one-day thing. Should it happen that it gets to be a one-day thing, which can happen if it's a quantum leap. This is whereby one day you wake up, you go from income of 10K to probably now an income of 100K a month. It can happen. It can happen even when you are in an organic timeline. Sometimes it happened in a lower timeline. And again, like I said, you will still experience the pains of money. But should it happen when you are in an organic timeline, right? That you experience a quantum leap where your income just blows up and you move from probably 10K to 10 times that. Should this happen? Yes, it's possible that you would be able to sustain this, enjoying the money, and your life is definitely going to change. Amazing. I've seen people really be able to receive that much, like where this year you're making this amount of money and then next day you're making more money. Yes, it happens. But here's the challenge, right? Here's the challenge with, let me just switch on the aircon, I hope it will make noise. Here's the challenge when it comes to maybe quantum leaping, and then you find that you have actually not done healing work. You know, you have not healed or addressed the coping mechanisms, the money wounds, and the programming that exists. What happens to a lot of people is that in the process, they collapse that quantum leap or that high expanded money, which is in higher timelines, because of the unsafety that comes with a lot of money, because of the fear that I will no longer belong to my people. There are many reasons that usually happens with the nervous system, the shock or cares. But if you have done inner work, or healing, there is where you will be able to maintain and hold. Our issues are not so much of, can we quantum leap to the highest amount of money? Can I 10 times my income? No, that's not the issue. The issue is, can you hold it? Can you hold when you have quantum leaped, when you have increased way more? Can you hold? Are you able to maintain? This is where the healing comes in. This is where I would say healing your money timeline comes to play, because you want to shift this. You want to shift what happens when you have experienced more. Our people have experienced more before, but a lot of times it's like we have this story, or our coping mechanism, especially as Black people, is that more money will create more problems. A self-fulfilling prophecy that we have, right? Without healing, usually this becomes the truth. And I'm not saying healing automatically makes all things go away. Healing, what I see the power in healing is that it makes you more aware, more alert, and also there is a level of work that when you constantly do, you begin to shift and lose some of these programmings that have been existing, right? So our ability to hold will literally depend on our own energy, our own frequency. Are you able to hold money in higher timelines? When we take it to the practical, aspect of it, especially for you as an entrepreneur, you get to look at stuff like, right now where you are you the type of person who you are able to charge people to pay you, you want to be paid, but you really struggle paying other people, or you have difficulty with parting with money and paying other people at the prices that they charge, or you're constantly having to negotiate because you are not willing to part with money, right? You want other people to pay you, but you don't want to be paid, right? You're the type of person who immediately, if you have money today, tomorrow you have spent all your business money. You're the type of person who sometimes in a period of a month, you'll find that the number of times money has hit your account is like 5 times, and the rest you made sure it doesn't come to your account. You got to spend it on other ways and other forms. Like, this is where you are like, you are in a timeline where you're not really even respecting how money gets to flow in your life. So we heal such things so that you are able to energetically hold when you have quantum leaped, when you have entered organic higher timelines of making money. Those are sustained by your inner work. Those are sustained by you no longer participating in the program and the coping mechanisms that were existing in money lower timelines. Yeah, I hope I don't confuse you, but yeah, there is so much we can say when it comes to our money timelines. But what I can tell you, one, just to note, you don't get to escape money timelines, lower money timelines, just because you're doing business. If your family has been experiencing unhealthy patterns, debt, betrayal around money, what else is there? Jealousy around money, loss of money, sometimes not being able to feel that we're actually making progress with our money, financial stagnancy. If your family has been experiencing this, if your lineage has been experiencing this, just because you're doing business does not mean you have escaped. Your money will still reflect the lower timelines. However, you have the ability to shift this by challenging the stories, by challenging the wounds that have been existing. That's number one. Number two, being in organic timelines is really possible, especially if you are creating money in ways that are aligned to you, aligned to your gifts, aligned to your skills, aligned to your talents. This has nothing to do so much with like, are you a businessman or a woman? No, it has mostly everything to do with your enoughness. You're trusting that you have the ability to create wealth because God already gave you the gifts, right? So again, you could be in corporate doing whatever you're doing. As long as you're aligned, one way or the other, you are going to create wealth. I can tell you this. You will expand, you will create wealth. However, business can be a good catalyst, right? A great catalyst, especially when it's aligned. Is doing it. And it's higher in repeat your in. Let's make your